Hello and welcome to my channel Happy Hours. In my last video, I had started my discussion with the compare in between the Tilak and Gandhi. I have also discussed about non-cooperation movement, Belgaum session 1924, two sessions of Congress in the year 1920, about the Simon Commission, Nehru Report, its recommendations, Jinnah 14-point formula, Deepavali Declaration, Lahore Session 1929, Civil Disobedience Movement, its causes, and under which I also discuss about the 11-point ultimatum of Gandhi. Finally, I discuss about the round table conferences of England. In this video, I am going to discuss about the Government of India Act 1935, All India Federation, Provincial Election of 1937, Wardha Meeting, Lahore Session of Muslim League 1940, Lin-Lithgow Formula, or we can say the August Formula, Individual Satyagrah, and finally I am going to discuss about the Quit India movement also. So what are we waiting for? Let's start our discussion with the Government of India Act 1935. After assessment of all three roundtable conferences, report of Simon Commission and Nehru Report, British government prepared largest ever act, which is also known as the Mini Constitution of India. There were three important conclusions, such as the first one was the relation in between India and England will be the dominion status. Secondly, the nature of government will be democratic. Thirdly, there will be a federal constitution of India and it will be all India Federation. Now we have to understand about the main points of the All India Federation. First one, All India Federation will comprise of British Indian provinces, which were at that time 9 in number, and princely state. At that time it was 563 in number. It was compulsory for British Indian provinces to become a part of federation, but it was optional for the princely states, or we can say for the Nawab and the Rajas. Third, diarchy will be abolished from the provinces and provincial autonomy was granted. Diarchy was introduced in center, so it means the central subject will be divided into reserved and the transferred subjects. There was a restructuring of powers in three lists, such as federal, concurrent, and the provincial list. Residual power was vested in the hands of Viceroy. A federal court was constituted in Delhi, which was known as Supreme Court of India. Two new provinces were created, which were Sindh and NWFP, where NWFP is Northwestern Frontier Province. Sindh was separated from Bombay Province, and this was a demand by the Muslim League. Now the total number of provinces became 11. The separate electorates were extended to women and the labor union. Burma was separated from India, and Odisha was separated from Bihar in the year 1936. I am proceeding further and going to discuss about the provincial election of 1937. As per the Government of India Act 1935, provincial election was organized in 11 provinces. Congress started early preparation along with main rival Muslim League. In 1936, Congress had a session at Lucknow. They invited provincial peasant organizations in this session. Jawaharlal Nehru actively coordinated with the provincial peasant organization. All India Kisan Sabha was constituted and its first president was Sahajanand Saraswati, who was Bihar Kisan Sabha president at that time. Vice President was Joseph Batista and General Secretary was N.G. Ranga. It was decided that session of All India Kisan Sabha and Congress will be the joint session. Congress released its manifesto where there were certain points. First, the total rejection of the Government of India Act 1935. release of all political prisoners, removal of all disabilities on the basis of gender and caste, radical transformation of agrarian system, substantial reduction of rent and revenue, abolition of all the debt, right to form trade union and conduct strike. According to British, the labor union equals to the trade union. Now, I'm going to proceed further and going to discuss about the performance of Congress, or we can say what was the result of the election. Congress was able to form government in 8 provinces except Bengal, Punjab and Sindh. If we are going to consider about the performance of Muslim League, that was failure. They were failed to get majority in any province. Even they were unable to get majority on the reserve seat in Punjab, where they were having 84 seats and they got only 3. They were having 33 seats in Sindh and they were able to get only 3. And despite this performance, leader of Muslim League, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, approached Congress for a coalition government with the condition that Muslim ministers in the government will be from Muslim League. Congress rejected this proposal. There was problem of communalism in 2 years of Congress government. Muslim League called this government as Hindu Raj, in which interests of Muslims are not safe. The role of Hindu Mahasabha and RSS was also reactionary. They started Gau Raksha movement, so we can say communal intensity had further increased. I am proceeding further and going to discuss about what were the assessment of Congress government. First is the civil liberties. Congress released the political prisoners. Many blacklisted books and the newspapers were removed from the blacklist. Ban on Hindustan Seva Dal and the Youth League was lifted. Next, they have reformed the CID. Now, the CID will not shadow the politicians. There was a press restrictions and they were removed. Pension of government servants associated with civil disobedience movement was restored. Second, on the field of social and welfare program. Here they have the prohibition was implemented at many places. Harijan welfare like scholarship and like temples entry, reservation in services had started. Health and sanitization programs were launched. Promotion of khadi etc. started. In 2 years of Congress government, there was confidence among the Indians that Congress will be able to govern without British also. In 1939, British government declared India Party to the war without consulting Congress. So in all the provinces, Congress government resigned. There was a Warda resolution passed in which they decided that Congress India will not support either party, Axis or Allied party which were in the war too. Secondly, from all the province, Congress government will resign, and the resignation of Congress was celebration for the Muslim League. Muslim League called it as the Deliverance Day and they celebrated it on the 22nd December 1939. I am proceeding further and going to discuss about the era of 1940 to 1945, or we can say step towards the independence. First I am going to discuss about the Warda meeting of Gandhi. In 1937 election, Gandhi did not participate in single election meet. Subhas has taken aggressive campaign. In 1938, Subhas was elected as the president of Congress. He wanted radical change in the approach of objective of Indian National Congress. Subhas started organizational change in the Congress committee. Therefore, Subhas developed differences with Gandhiji. Subhas said, "Non-violence alone will not lead India to independence." He advocated aggressive mass movement by putting entire British on check. In Wardha meeting of Congress working committee, there was discussion between Gandhi, Subhash and Nehru regarding the role of India in World War. Gandhi said, there will be unconditional support to Britain in the war. He favored democratic peace in comparison with totalitarian Nazi. Subhas said that there will be no support to either party because it is a war and between imperialists and imperialists. But we must take the advantage of World War to get India independence. Gandhi rejected the demand of Subhash and he said, difficulties of Britain could not be the opportunity for the Indian national movement. Nehru was confused and he said, there will be no support to either party and we should not start the mass movement because Congress is not organizationally strong and there is a fear of communal violence. Finally, the Wardha resolution was passed and it was decided not to support either party. I am proceeding and going to discuss about the Lahore session of Muslim League which was conducted in the year 1940. Muslim League was successfully able to spread communalism among the Muslim middle class. Therefore, in Lahore session, Muslim League passed a resolution in which two nation theory was demanded. Hindus and the Muslims are not only two religions but two nations, and this was their opinion. And they say one more thing, and that the two religion can coexist but not the two nations. Muslim League supported Britain in the war and expected support for the two nation theory also. We have came to the time of the Lithgow formula, or we can say the August proposal. After astounding success of Hitler in Western Europe forced Britain to adopt conciliatory approach towards Indians. Hitler had defeated France, Netherlands and Belgium. Now the position of England was very much threatened. Prime Minister Churchill wanted to take the support of India to gain the strength in the war. Therefore, Viceroy Lithgow proposed some formula known as August formula, under which there were certain conditions such as dominion status for India. For the first time, British explicitly offered the dominion status. Secondly, the expansion of Viceroy's Executive Council with majority of Indians. Third, establishment of Constituent Assembly after the war, mainly comprising of Indians. The British had accepted the long-standing demand of Congress for setting up Constituent Assembly. War Advisory Council will be created to finalize the direction of war. It will be comprised of both British and the Indians. Last condition was there will no constitution will be accepted if it is not acceptable to the minority. Muslim welcomed the veto power to the minority and demanded partition is the only solution. Congress rejected the August proposal. Nehru said that offer of dominion status is as dead as the doornail. Congress will not settle anything less than complete independence. After this, the individual satyagraha was announced. Congress adopted adamant approach toward the Lithgow formula, and Congress had already decided not to start mass movement. As I have mentioned, the Gandhiji was against it. So because it is indirectly, it will give message that India is supporting the Nazi forces by putting Britain in trouble. Gandhi launched individual satyagraha in which group of satyagrahis will do the satyagraha, and if they are going to be get arrested, they are going to get replaced by another group. The first satyagrahi was Vinoba Bhave, second was Jawaharlal Nehru, and the third was Brahmadatta. This satyagraha is also known as Jail Bharo movement, or we can say the Delhi Chalo movement, and it was strictly a non-violent movement. Now we have to understand about what was the aim of individual satyagraha. Firstly, Gandhi wanted to present that nationalist patience was not due to weakness but a strategic affair of Indian national movement. Secondly, its objective was not to demand independence but right to speech. Indians must have right to speak against the war. Thirdly, Congress will give opportunity to British to accept its demand peacefully. Individual satyagraha, if you will realize, we can understand that it was not able to create any big impact, but at the same time it opened the momentum for Congress for the future movement. In 1941, individual satyagraha was taken back and Gandhi declared Nehru as his successor of the political legacy. After this, the path of Quit India movement was paved. Means we can say that after this only the Quit India movement was started. Before that, we have to understand what were the causes of Quit India movement. First was the Atlantic Charter. The Allied countries had organized a meeting on the ship at Atlantic. The objective of this charter was oppose imperialism and colonialism from all over the world. In this charter, the format and proposal of UNO was also presented. India was placed exception to Atlantic Charter. It had big impact among the Indians and Gandhi decided not to think about the world but we have to think now about our own. Therefore, he was ready for the mass civil disobedience movement. Second reason was the war in Burma. In this war, Indian soldiers were fighting against Japan and Indian soldiers were placed in front of the war. They were used as a human shield for the British officers. So humiliation and casualty of Indian soldiers were very high. It has generated huge anger against the British. Third was the racial discrimination. British had lost entire Southeast Asia. After fall of Singapore, retreating Indian soldiers were very discriminated. There was a black mark route for Indian soldiers and white mark route for British soldiers. There was a better facility on white mark route. It has created huge anger amongst the Indian. Fourth reason was the economic impact of war. Britain had created buffer stock for the soldiers. Huge amount of rain was collected from the eastern part of India which resulted in the food crisis and Bengal famine. The economic impact of the war had caused massive inflation and unemployment. Fifth was the climax of STS movement, where STS means the struggle through struggle. By 1942, the war of position was in favor of Indian nationalism. Gandhi was convinced that Indians are aware enough to challenge the mighty British control. Therefore, he was ready for the final movement against British. Next was the failure of Cripps mission. After success of Hitler and Mussolini in Europe and pressure of Japanese invasion over India, the Allied partners started pushing England to find the solution for India. Otherwise, Indians will not oppose the Japanese invasion. Sir Stafford Cripps, who was the member of war cabinet from Labour Party and supporter of Indian national movement, he had good relation with the many Indian leaders. Congress appointed Nehru and Azad as official negotiator with Cripps. As per the Cripps proposals, there were certain conditions. First was the dominion status for India, and India will be free to join UN and other international organizations. Secondly, a constituent assembly will be set up to frame new constitution. in which elected member from British Indian provinces and nominated member from the princely state will be the member. Third, any province or group of provinces, if not agree with the union, then they can form a separate constituent assembly, or we can say a separate union. Fourth, the British will accept the constitution after safeguarding the cultural and religious minority. Fifth condition was the defense of India will be in the hands of British. Cripps' mission was very significant in the offer of complete dominion. The Constituent Assembly will be constituted by only Indians. Muslim League rejected the offer of Indian Union and demanded separate Constituent Assembly for Pakistan. Congress also rejected the Cripps proposal because it was blueprint for India's partition. Congress demanded that Viceroy should remain only a nominal head and not the constitutional head. Gandhi gave a remark and he said Cripps' mission as a post-dated check, in which Nehru added the word on a crashing bank. So failure of Cripps' mission has created the background of Quit India movement. C. Rajagopalachari suggested the name for the movement as retreat movement, or we can say a withdraw movement. It was Yusuf Meher Ali who coined the term Quit India movement, and even he was the one who created the slogan Simon Go Back. Gandhi organized the meeting of All Indian Congress Committee at Bombay to pass Quit India resolution. He gave two mantras. First, do or die, and second, act according to your conscience. Gandhi said ever since we started the mass movement, the intensity of movement keep on increasing, but objective of movement always remain the same. That is attainment of Swaraj. And Swaraj means complete independence on the 8th August 1942. Quit India resolution was passed and British government immediately reacted and arrested all the leaders of Congress. On 9th August 1942, Congress was declared as the illegal organization and the Congress offices were confiscated. Even the bank accounts were freezed. Since there were no leaders to guide the rebellion, therefore it was a leaderless movement. Theoretically, Gandhi was leader, but if you'll see, practically it was leaderless. There were two phases of Quit India movement. First phase was from 1942 to 1943, whereas the second phase was from 1943 to 44. First, I am going to discuss about the first phase, which was from 1942 to 43. Despite the Gandhian call of non-violence, there was violence at many places with huge participation of youth. It was a pan-India movement. The rebellions had targeted British communication system like uprooting of railway track, cutting of telegraph wire, putting boulders on road, etc. The rebellions tried to restrict the British mobility so that the British military would not get any information and could not send the military enforcement. Gandhi instructed all the sections of Indian society. He said, government servants do not resign from the services, but they have to declare their alliance with Congress. For the soldiers, he said that they do not need to leave the military, but they should not fire the compatriot. For the students, he said that if you are confident, then leave the studies. For the peasant, he said, if the jamindars are pro-British, then do not give the revenue. But if the jamindars are against the British, then they have to pay mutual agreed rent. People of princely state support the ruler if the ruler is anti-British and declare yourself part of India. Gandhi made a historic remark. He said, either we will make India independent or we will die in the attempt, but we will not live to see the perpetuity of our slavery. After this, there was a second phase from 1943 to 44. In this phase, the rebellions had started underground activities such as Usha Mehta. She established Radio Congress in Bombay. Jayaprakash Narayan, escaped to Nepal and constituted Azad Dasta. He started guerrilla war against British. Other members of underground activities were Biju Bhatnayak, R.P. Goenka, Aruna Asaf Ali, etc. The intensity of the movement was very high, so that at many places independent government of Free India was established, like in Balia, Satara, Tamluk, Mednapur, etc. Balia is in UP, Satara and Tamluk are in Maharashtra, Mednapur is in Bengal. In Balia, Chitur Pandey was the leader, and in Satara, Nana Patil was the leader. Now they became the independent leader. By 1944, Quit India movement came to an end. Although this movement was suppressed by British with the massive casualty, official it was 10,000 people who died. This movement forced British to realize that their days in India are numbered. It also forced British to change the approach from the policy of dominion status to the policy of divide and rule. With this, we have came to an end. We have learned about the Government of India Act 1935, about the All India Federation. We have also got the information about the winning of Congress in the provincial election and understood about the Quit India movement. What were the reasons behind it and what was the result of it? By this, I am concluding my video. If you find the content interesting, kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you.